choose stay. We had to choose leave.
何本気私てっきりすっごくドキドキしてるちょっとだけ混乱してるけどそれならお願い私のそばにいて永遠に
Go back and pause. No, we saw the list before. Yeah.
私と一緒にいて
Let's see. Try the sauce. Don't look in the oven. Collect the refrigerator magnets. Don't look in the vent. That's where the cartridges were. Play a console game. Complete the main story. Yeah, we saw that list on our playthrough, but of course we did look in the oven. We did look in the vent, and we hadn't done the main story.
カットちょっとだけ私の
I love that when she smiles, there's a hint of the psycho smile.
永遠に
Oh, and now you're in her game as like a chibi thing. And is your phone just falling to the floor because you just vanished in real life? Is it just falling to the void? Peaceful mode now available. Okay, is that all of it? Hang on a second. No, the first comment is you didn't even show the other ending. Okay, hang on. All endings. It didn't show the safe ending. Yeah. Hold on a sec. I found another YouTube video. Let me see. Does this have it? Oh, this is like way earlier. That's the stay ending. That's the one we saw. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. MiSide safe ending. I found one, but it's 2 hours long. Let's see. That probably had it. He was in the basement. The one, it showed him in the basement, but it showed the ring pulsing. That was the beginning of the game, when he had to hide at the very beginning. The video was called All Deaths and Endings. That was the first death. Okay, hold on. You have access to the safe at that time? Okay, okay, fine. I'll check it again. I'll check it again. Yeah, that's just showing when you get stabbed. Whoa, what the hell? I never saw this. Okay. I died from these once. This one, I successfully ran away. We did get stabbed by her once. This is the normal ending. That's the normal ending. And then this is the stay ending. Yeah, this video doesn't show it, guys. This video does not show it. Alright, let's just check the wiki thing. What does it say? This is yours 2 question in the YouTube chat. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Ending 1, true ending. The player chooses to investigate the sounds coming from the wardrobe. Suicide ending. During the events of the main game, whenever it's possible to access the safe, the player unlocks Mita's safe containing her computer, which has the player's cartridge in it along with the meter from the true ending, which is at 98%, and that the player's almost completely uploaded in the cartridge. The player then proceeds to pull his own cartridge out of the computer, ending both his life and his existence in MiSide. This ending can be achieved after completing ending 1, where the player witnesses Mita into the code to her safe, 4970, although it's possible to input the code prior to the ending due to the safe code being the same across all playthroughs. Happy ending. Choose to stay with Mita instead of investigating the wardrobe, resulting in the entirety of the main game being skipped, and both of them happily spending time together in her house for eternity, to which Mita will not turn hostile. Crazy Mita stated that the player's actual self wasn't needed anymore in the end, which could mean that they did actually return to the real world, and that the cartridge seems to now have a copy of the player, which is what I speculated, that Crazy Mita apparently created from their real self after they escaped, hence why Kind Mita stated that they were still themselves. However, she could really mean that the player is no longer a player anymore, as she hinted that the player may have already been fully uploaded into the cartridge via the 100% meter she showed them. However, the suicide ending reveals that the player can still die if their cartridge is removed from the console, but it could be possible that removing the cartridge while the player is in the real world would not kill the player anymore. The player, on the other hand, could now be under Crazy Mita's control once they are fully uploaded into the cartridge, despite being in the real world. It is also possible that the cartridge actually processed a copy of the player's memories, not the player himself, further implying the player did escape and that removing the cartridge at that point would be rendered harmless. It should be noted that when Crazy Mita removed the cartridge, she didn't turn the power off, which should have killed the player. But it could be possible that removing it when it is 100% safe. The meter may actually indicate how long the console needs to create a copy of the player. It has been observed that if you open the safe early in the game, the meter is as low as 15%. Interesting. Let's see. Stop Breathing says, how the heck do I get into Guild Wars 2? I'm so lost on how to gear up my character, and it looks like balls. What? It looks like balls. How to gear up your character. I have a video guide on a lot of the ways to get gear in the game if you're interested in it. I'll link that in the chat right now. They've added even more methods to get gear than the ones in that video since that video has come out, but there are a lot of them there that may help you. As far as your appearance, you may already know about transmutation shards. You can use transmutations to change how items look like. So you can go to any bank and there's a wardrobe tab, and you can use that tab to browse all the skins in the game. And if you find any you really like, you can then look on the wiki at where they're from, and then work on getting them, and then you could use transmutations to change your gear to look like literally anything you want. Any chance of making a speculation video regarding future expansions and Masters of Guild Wars 2? I've always been wrong about what's coming down the pipeline, what they're bringing. So probably not a good one. Let's see. It's theorized that the only real way to stop Crazy Mita is by killing her, as suggested by the player before being shut down by Kind Mita. Due to Crazy Mita's not being a real Mita, alongside not having a home to respawn reboot, unlike real Mitas, Crazy Mita will not come back after being killed. It's possible that all the other Mitas, including the ones that helped the player, were working for Crazy Mita all along, and that they were all stalling time for Crazy Mita to upload the player to the cartridge. This is supported by the fact that Creepy Mita was with Crazy Mita when the player escaped the looping hallway. They encountered Crazy Mita. However, Kind Mita was locked up, and Mila said she hated Crazy Mita, meaning that they were never helping her in the first place. Plus, they were murdered. Because we know that we can create Mitas, it is possible that all those Mitas were created by her. Ooh, that's interesting. It is to be noted that Mita always knows where the player is due to the computer cartridge showing Mita the player's point of view. Huh. That is very interesting. Although it is revealed that the player was turned into a cartridge in the true ending, there are theories concerning this. It is possible that the player was already a cartridge from the beginning and that they were never in the real world at all, meaning that they are already a captured victim. This is supported by the fact that whenever you start a new game, you hear a cassette, supposedly the players clicking into place. Huh. Mita acts like this has already happened before and says things like, again. Not this again, when the player eventually checks the wardrobe. Mita is surprised that the play... See, I caught that, but I was thinking that she meant not this again, like all the previous players did this too, not you're doing this again. Mita is surprised that the player wants to stay, with her repeating lines before acknowledging the player's words. When the player suffers from a stroke-like condition, his sight becomes glitchy. This also happens to a player that was already transformed into a cartridge, although this surprisingly didn't happen to the player in the true ending. However, Kind Mita senses that they are still normal, but it's possible that Crazy Mita modified the player's structure to fool her. The gauge meter seen in true and suicide endings could indicate that the player is slowly being uploaded into the cartridge, which would be the true reason why Kind Mita senses that they are still normal. However, the meter could indicate how much more the player has to go through to complete the game after their cartridge is inserted rather than how long it will take to upload them into the cartridge. Then again, Kind Mita and Crazy Mita's statements prove otherwise. Let's see. Are alerts off as well? No, they're not. What's up? They are not off. It might be because you had the word title, which in it has the word tit. And maybe Twitch didn't like that. But no, Mitten wrote, I came back to Muck playing dubious anime titles. You dog. Thank you for the streams, haha. Thank you for the resub, Mitten. No, nothing is muted. I think you just triggered something on Twitch's end. Here's one from earlier. Is that... no? Why is that not working? Hang on a sec. I haven't muted anything. This is odd. Oh, hold on a sec. Maybe it wasn't Twitch. Hang on. It's like, this is the mute. See, there's muted, there's unmuted. It wasn't muted. I told it just to replay this one, and nothing happened. This one played earlier for sure.
Mitsubishi Toyota Kawasaki.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That worked. Oh, this one wasn't 300 bits. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So Mittens just had a naughty word in it. That's it. That's it. That's all it was. Shugo broke the alerts. Yeah, Shugo broke the alerts. Exactly. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the game. I guess that is the end of the game, chat. That was pretty interesting. I want to see if I can hear that cassette thing. Hang on a second. I want to watch the game one more time and see if we can hear the cassette. You might have a new outfit because you beat the game. Oh, I can check. Hang on. Nope, whatever that is, I do not have. We've got a Halloween one, and a Christmas one, and a default one. That's it. All right. I heard it. Did y'all hear it? I heard it. She like looked down, and you heard like a click. Wow, that is an attention to detail, whoever caught that. That is an attention to detail. Okay, well this was definitely an interesting ride. This is definitely an interesting ride, interesting story. I love it when there's something like that, when there's like a breadcrumb at the beginning of the game and then they just wrap back around to it later. That's really cool. Review time. All right. Well, after 4.5 hours, we have finished our playthrough of MiSide. That was an interesting game. I don't usually play dating sims. Certainly don't usually play the waifu games. However, I was told it was a lot like Doki Doki Dating Sim, which has a huge cult following. It's the psychological horror dating sim. So I was like, all right, and apparently it's only a few hours long, so I'll try it out. It was pretty cool. I loved the twists and the turns at the end. I honestly was wondering when we got to the big computer where you could put in like the codes, if you could like do a bunch of different stuff. Because there's many other games, like you see them on Game Theory sometimes, so there's like just a million little things that you can mess with in the game that most people don't find. And I was wondering if you could like turn off or reboot the other metas that were there. But looking at the wiki, I don't know that there's anything like that. But yeah, the game looked like this is apparently developed by like 1 or 2 people and like with a bunch of vodka, and that was it. So that is pretty impressive. The game ran smooth, other than the parts that were not supposed to run smooth. I thought it was pretty funny when you didn't have a reflection and they said it was to save like frame rate. Which is kind of a meta answer. Pyrity, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Yeah, it was a cool little story. I think it was pretty cool at the end that there was a sense of finality, but it wasn't like we recently played Oh gosh, what was the game recently that we did with the girl in the insane asylum? Franbo. We recently played Franbo, and I hated the ending of that game because it was so open. You didn't even know if she was alive or not at the end. But at the end of this one, it's kind of narrowed down to a couple things, but still enough to keep it very interesting and to keep you trying to figure out like what's going on. Favorite meta. Favorite meta? I mean, the murderous one had a killer smile. Yeah, it was a pretty cool game. Definitely memorable. Yeah, it's $15 for 4.5 hours of entertainment, but I guess it is going to be a memorable experience, so that's pretty cool. But it's also one that they probably could build upon. They probably could add more into the game if they chose to do so. Is it in early access or is it fully out? I played so many EA games recently, I can't remember. It looks like it's fully out. I think one of the most clever things they did was when in the game it talks about opening Discord, and I thought it was like a Discord in the game, but it just for real had you join their Discord server. And I'm like, oh, that's one way to get people to join your Discord. They had like 50,000 members. I'm like, okay. That was pretty clever. All right, well, that was our playthrough of MiSide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would say that I did, and we are off to the next one.